everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
And these people, they want me to be wrong so bad. It's like, dude, just listen to what I'm saying and then critique what I'm saying.
That's what they did. That's why they called you wrong, fool.
They can't. Roll the clip.
Okay. And we have not, I try not to say his name. Other folks have said his name. Try not to say his name, but I'll say it this time because I'm doing a report on him. We have warned you about Brandon Tatum.
Yes, sir.
From the very beginning.
What do you want him?
He's become one of the loudest public defenders of these surviving teenagers. He's decided to become a defender of the teenagers. Okay.
And he is defending these teenagers. Like, I've never seen someone defend someone this much. You would think that he was being paid to do this as far as he's going. And he said, I did this on my own dime. I just wanted to clear their names. Why you want to clear their names? Why don't you try to figure out what happened? He didn't try to figure out what happened. He tried to clear their names. That's what he did. He don't care about what happened to Nolan Wells. He just want to clear them white folks' names. I'm telling you, that's all he want. He I need to clear Massa name. If all the black people they keep talking about Massa, then I ain't gonna look good. I need to make Massa know that I fight for Massa. Looking at
do nothing.
He might think he's helping these teens. In my opinion, he is doing the exact opposite.
Time out. They believe that I'm helping them, or that what's being said is clearing their name, giving them a voice. We just got a text from one of them the other day. Thank you for standing up for us. Their attorneys think that what's going on is fair to them. What do you know, Don Lemon? What do you know? Mr. I'm storming into a church thinking you helping people? No, you didn't. They should have put you in jail for that. You actually got arrested for it. Mr. Fake Journalist, he biases all get out. Roll the clip.
Every time, there's a nickname for him, but anyway, that rhymes with his name. Every time he inserts himself into this story, he becomes part of the story. He becomes part of the story.
Because of you.
Instead of shifting the conversation back to the evidence, the focus turns to him, his claims, his interviews, his defense of the teenagers.
I ain't gonna lie. A lot of people get caught up on this thing. Like, once you get involved with something, then it takes a whole new life on when somebody gets too involved. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ever see people that get really, really involved in situations? This is one of those things. Brandon Tatum, it's like Nolan Wells versus Brandon Tatum versus Nolan Wells' friends, the four white guys. Not sure how Brandon Tatum fits in this thing, but he's the talk because he had the interviews. Now, the interviews, call it what you want. I don't know if y'all ever watched the interviews, but I think everybody should go watch them before you have make your own opinion of the interview. Don't take my opinion for, your opinion. Go watch it for yourself, and then you'll see. All right. And I don't think that the guys actually hurt Nolan Wells. They could be innocent. But the fact is, no one is talking. No one who was there is talking. So you had to go to his friends who left him. That's where it starts at. I don't think we should just blame them until the evidence comes out. But now we getting recordings. Now we get putting names to people who was around at the time. The investigation is getting deeper. We haven't heard anything from the police since that recording the audio has been cleared by the professional audio engineer, the black lady, the criminal black lady who got misdemeanors 20 years ago, that destroyed her credibility on editing audio. Like, whatever. But anyway, and it be your own people. Brandon Tatum has not responded to the audio. Why hasn't he said anything about the audio? Why? Because he doesn't actually care about Nolan Wells. He only cares about the 4 boys. Why? Because they're white. He doesn't care about you niggers. Brandon Tatum will only care about this situation as long as he can clear the white guys. He cleared those 4 white boys and he's fine. He getting into heaven with that one, okay? That is Brandon Tatum's. This is his lifelong goal, okay?
His commentary and his credibility. Now, interesting about the teenagers, because the story really is about Nolan Wells, but for him and his coverage, it has become about the teenagers instead of the victim. Mm-hmm. And so, as I said, it becomes about the claims, his interviews, his commentary, and his credibility. That doesn't help these young people at all.
Oh, okay.
You know what it does? It creates another controversy for people to argue about. Why him? Why him? Why him? And it's not like it's not that because I want the interviews. No, I don't. I would have taken my butt down there if I wanted to. That's not it.
Why you didn't?
Because remember your mom said, I'll tell you. Why would your strategy be to sit down with a far-right commentator whose brand is built on confrontation, outrage, and anti-black statements?
Let me cook this stew head real quick. Let's put this into context. I didn't make anything about me. You are talking about me. Why don't you just talk about the interview? You don't have to bring Brandon Tatum in it. Just talk about the boy. Just play what they said in the interview. You don't even need me in it. Y'all bringing me up. They wanted to get their voice out there. I sat down and interviewed them, something you don't want to do because you're not a real journalist. You don't want to get the other side. You just want one side. And we got evidence that I reached out to Benjamin Crump. We shared the emails the other day. They don't want to talk to me, but they go on Chris Cuomo's show. Well, it ain't my fault that they don't want their side. They can talk how they want.
Hey, is Brandon Tatum a public defender? Like, is he taking this on? He's coming out his own pocket to defend these guys. I want to see his law degree, because where is it at? Because as hard as he's pushing, he got to be a lawyer. He got to be like that inside man, because the lawyers ain't speaking. Okay, the lawyers may want to speak to Benjamin Crump because they want to get the teens off, and I get that. I understand if the teens had nothing to do with it, I get it. But it's not about them. It's not about the teens. Who gives a damn about the teens? If none of the teens are in that audio clip where they was talking about, is Nolan there? Is he alive? Is he dead? Wake him up. Nolan. All that. Find them teens. Okay? Find those people. But instead, Brandon Tatum comes on here to defend himself, as you saw Don Lemon say, it's not about the teens. It's about Nolan Wells. And Brandon Tatum's go, I tried to reach out to Benjamin Crump. I tried to reach out to Al Sharpton. I tried to reach out, but they want to go to Chris Cuomo. Bruh, forget them teens. Now shift your focus and use your resources to find out who the rest. Go to Massa and see if you can talk to them. See if you can talk to Bart, cause Bart knows something, but you ain't went and talk to Bart, right, huh? Cause you don't want to attach yourself to Bart, huh? Go defend Bart. It's your time to go defend Bart. Whoever Bart is, and they showed who Bart is. I actually had to bleep his name out and his Instagram and stuff out on my YouTube channel. So follow me on Everyday PJ Politics, where you can see that video where we showed who the Bart guy was in the whole situation, who was at the place, who was there, and whose name was called out in that call. He disabled, or he put his TikTok on private, and I showed it, but it's bleeped out. But if you want to watch it, you can follow me on Everyday PJ on Facebook, and you can actually see that unedited video there.
You bringing me up. You're bringing my name in this. You could just focus on them. You focus it on me. All right, let him finish. He got some more weird stuff to say. Roll it.
Last night didn't help.
Last night didn't help.
Nancy Grace asked him, Brandon Tatum, a direct question.
That's right. Say my name.
Did the surviving teens take a polygraph test? That's the question. Roll it, Andy.
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me, that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test.
Why do you say that's from what you understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lie detector test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So, so as you can see, I'm conflating lie detector test with polygraph. It was an error on my part to say polygraph, but I conflated the two, but I cleared it up. I made sure, because I don't want anybody to have ambiguity out there. It was a mistake on my part by not just saying a lie detector test to start with and then clarifying that the lie detector test was a voice stress analysis. And so I said polygraph test because they're synonymous. And in my mind, I'm thinking, and I'm just saying that.
This is why you're not a prosecutor. And Nancy Grace ate Brandon Tatum up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay? You know what? I told y'all he didn't have that same smoke for that prosecutor. I'm gonna bring up a video of Don Lemon talking to the Brandon Tatum talking to the black prosecutor, and then I'm gonna show Brandon Tatum talking to Nancy Grace, and we're gonna see two different energies.
And then I clarified it because I realized that I'm saying polygraph test and I mean lie detector test, and I couldn't think of the name of the voice stress analysis at the time. Then I came back and told her it's the voice stress analysis. And I'm going to get to why this is a nothing burger anyway, and Don Lemon, who have no idea what he's talking about, he wouldn't know this because he's never done any investigatory work in his life.
Cooking? No.
Roll the clip. And so what they told me, they all took a lie detector test and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not.
So then the answer to did they take a polygraph would be no.
Well, yeah, I think it could be semantics because they took a test to analyze whether or not they were being truthful in their.
Even look to how he dressed. Look how he dressed for Nancy Grace show. He ain't wear a tie, but he got on the suit jacket. You know what I'm saying? He's in his upper echelon. They invited me in the house Negro conversation. Okay, that's how he shows up to Nancy Grace. Let me show you how he shows up to Stephen A. Smith. This how he shows up to Stephen A. show. Black t-shirt on, gold chain. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it crippin' cuz, okay? Terrible. You see the prosecutor got his suit coat on, got his house coat on. Why couldn't Brandon Tatum show up like that? And look how he talking to him. Look how he talking to him.
There were black kids there who now getting threats online too for coming out and saying something. But nobody's saying, what did these black kids have anything to do with it? The young girl he was kicking it with, they don't have her name out there. Her name is Katie, but I'm not gonna say her full name. I don't want her to get doxxed. They not nobody talking about her. She said she was the last one. I mean, she at least mentioned that she was with him.
Look how his energy is up, right? When he's talking to black men, right?
The boy showed me text messages from her that she's saying that she was with him.
All right, now let's listen to how he talks to listen how he talks to Nancy Grace.
Of a lot of techniques. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not.
So then the answer to did they take a polygraph would be no.
Well, yeah, I think it could be semantics because they took.
You know you fucked up, right? You know this.
A test to analyze whether or not they were being truthful in their statements, and that certified test, they passed it. It just wasn't considered a traditional polygraph. I think it's a more advanced way of doing it.
Brandon Tatum. Hold on. In a nutshell.
Hey, see something? Now you see now. You done f***ed up in that, don't you? I see what I'm saying. I thought that's what I'm saying. That you done f***ed up now. You know that, don't you?
You done f***ed up now. No, you know that, don't you?
So she didn't. I ended up responding, which Don Lemon didn't have on his thing, obviously, but he did mention it. I give him the credit. He did mention that I responded and clarified. Let me tell you why this is really a nothing burger, because a polygraph test, voice stress analysis are different, but neither one of them are verifiable enough to be presented in court. Most voice stress analysis tests are conducted on police departments all the time. It's like almost a new modern way to do it because polygraph is somewhat antiquated to a certain degree. And so it's less intrusive to have a voice stress analysis. None of that stuff matters in court. None of that stuff is verifiable in the court of law beyond a reasonable doubt in order to use that to say somebody's telling the truth or not. This is just a minor variable for two reasons why they would do that on a police department. One is that when they tell a suspect or a person they're interviewing that we're going to test you to prove if you're lying or not, a lot of times people come clean because they are thinking in their mind that thing will 100% tell if I'm lying or not. So they come clean. Also, there are indicators that may suggest that the person is not being as truthful as they should. The indicator will cause a detective or an investigator to pose more questions or go back and re-interview them because they feel like they have enough reasonable suspicion to believe that the person isn't being truthful. This is not a court certified. Nobody's arguing in court whether you passed or failed a polygraph. A polygraph test is not 100%. And this is why it don't go well in court.
You know, honestly, I don't even think the polygraph is the issue and why he's even going in on this. What we need to be talking about is why you didn't, what we need to be talking about is why are you not actually seeking the truth? You're just trying to justify why these kids are innocent. And if they're innocent, I mean, the truth will set them free. So nobody's blaming them kids. I mean, if they were, I think there was people blaming them at the beginning. But now it's turned to a point where, okay, you guys spoke out. We still need more answers. So find the answers. Instead, Officer Tatum, who's no longer an officer, that's like me saying, I'm a truck driving PJ. I ain't drove trucks in years, but truck driving PJ, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know, Officer Tatum still wants to go against the cause. He don't want to find the justice in this whole situation. But let's get to Don Lemon's video.
So when you talk about all the things that have been spread, there is this officer, I hate mentioning his name, a former officer who is a far right wing, who's been doing the interviews and has been saying, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not even going to comment on Brandon Tatum. No.
I respect that. And that's the right answer for everybody, I believe. And I feel like, because I mentioned him, I'm like, why did I even mention him? Because he doesn't deserve a platform.
No, he does not.
So let's talk about the people, the young men that he's been interviewing. They're saying they're his best friends. Some of them you said that you don't know. One of them even said, "Oh, Nolan would be outraged by the way his parents are handling this." And I'm like, "Wait, what? Like, why on earth would somebody go on and say that about a grieving family?" But
again, distraction. We're not even going to address them or that man. We only want the truth. Again, at the end of the day, I'm going to say it like I've been saying it. The only question we have is what happened to Nolan. That's what we need to know. That's it. That's all.
So let me just discuss, because I didn't really know this person. And just before the thing, I wasn't even going to address it, but someone said that he dropped something about me, like threatening something. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I don't even know who this dude is. I met him at a conference. We were in a room together, and it was just bizarre. So he's talking about something I don't even know. I looked at like the beginning of it and I said, this doesn't even make sense. I don't know what he's talking about. And I choose to spend my time wisely and to keep my peace.
He said you're not a journalist.
And so, but sometimes things just fall right into your lap. And I don't even have to do it. The Lord works in mysterious ways. So whatever that nonsense that, what's his name? What do they call him? His nickname, Race Tatum? Whatever he's talking about, I don't give a shit. I don't give a f what you think about me, because I don't think anything about you. I don't even know who you are. I didn't know who you were until they said, are you okay with this? And I was like, sure. And then I looked, I was like, oh, this dude, I've never seen him, but wow. So I don't even know who you are. And so what I'm going to let my friend, by the way, who I'm going on tour with, D.L. Hughley, speak for not only me, but for a whole lot of people. I don't even have to do the work. Sometimes you just don't have to do shit. So I will let D.L. Hughley, and this is, unless there's something really offensive, I don't even know if I'm going to respond to whatever, to that. Because I believe sometimes you shouldn't even speak people's names. You don't cast your pearls before swine.
You know what? I'm starting to see this, man. YouTube is a big platform. YouTube can get you places, and I hope to go places with YouTube too. So shout out to me for, putting in the work. But Brandon Tatum is a YouTuber, commentator. Anton Daniels, YouTuber, commentator. What was his name? Lamont Hill something. YouTube commentator. There's many others who start on YouTube. Malcolm Lamont Hill, is that his name? I don't know. They start off as YouTube commentators, and they reach big platforms, and they reach big audiences, and they bring in big numbers, and they get to these big platforms such as CNN, these marquee platforms, and Nancy Grace, and they get beside themselves and talk down on journalists like Don Lemon, who has an extensive, whether you like him or not, I don't care if you like him or not, he's still experienced, he's still mastered his craft, and he's done it on all levels. Okay, so coming from YouTube, not to downplay people from YouTube, but to talk down on Don Lemon is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Don Lemon probably will be in I wouldn't say the Hall of Fame of journalism, but he's probably made a few all-star teams in journalism. Okay, along with some of the greatest journalists out there. I mean, you name them, left or right wing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't respect talking down on people who really mastered their craft on many levels of this game. All right.
But I'll let DL do the work in regards to Race Tatum. Hello, friend DL Hughley.
This is Brandon Tatum.
Y'all just see what unfunny ex-comedian DL Hughley just said about me. Posted a picture of me and my wife. To do what? To be a racist? You are the lamest dude in all of comedy.
What is more lame than calling yourself the job you used to have? You're not an officer anymore. You were a football player who failed at being a football player. You didn't make the team, so you became an officer. That wasn't working out, so you became an influencer. You talked about emotion. What is more emotional than this?
The word.
You cried for a white dude who the people didn't even think you worthy to speak at his funeral. You said you wouldn't cry for your son, but you cried for him. That's not emotion? You talked of the way Benjamin Crump talks.
Just want to blame white folks. And so I go out there because I know that lame Al Sharpton and Mr. I can't read Benjamin Crump is just race hustling, y'all.
You talked about how those boys are innocent. You had proof. Now, I don't know whether they're innocent or not. I don't know what happened there. But I know one conversation with a failed football player and a social media influencer is not the predicate. You don't have any toxicology report. You don't have an autopsy report. You talked about black people acting a fool. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that took 31 years and 3 trials to prosecute and find guilty the murder of Meg. People are right to be suspicious of a state that in 2005 found 215 black people that were dead and buried in a pauper's grave and nobody knew they were there. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that just killed a 1-year-old boy and nobody's being brought to account about. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that has been poisoning black people with the water since the 1960s. Black people didn't look for this fight. They want justice. All they want is accountability. And if it's those boys, it should be that. Nobody has a predetermined notion. I don't know what happened. But if you're saying that Al Sharpton and that Benjamin Crump are on one side, you're certainly on the other. You talk to them for 2 days and now all of a sudden you know if they're guilty. You know if they're innocent. You know that. Your name is, your moniker is Officer Tatum, not Detective Tatum. You didn't make your way to detective. You're an influencer who says what white people want you to say. And don't you find it interesting that they chose to speak to you, and they chose to speak to you for the same reason that you're a conservative, for the same reason Turning Point did, because you're safe. They know you're a black man who'll do what he's told. You're an unremarkable black man who they know they can count on to be obedient. They pick you for the same reason they pick dogs. What is very interesting to me is this is Nancy Grace.
I'm left to believe that he goes out swimming all on his own, and the friend girl leaves, the mates from school leave, everybody just leaves him out in the water and he dies.
Now, Nancy Grace is a career prosecutor. She has tried 100 felony trials, 100, and not lost one. And she thinks that's something suspicious. But the social media influencer who failed at football and was a mediocre cop all of a sudden knows more than that. I don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. But I do know this. You said that a young woman with a pot of water acted so suspiciously that she should be shot by cops.
I think that this is justified, but it could have been avoided, but still justified. You can't throw boiling water on a police officer and not get shot.
That is crazy. And I actually have that video. I created a body cam video channel, and I actually have that. I still have that footage. I might react to it and let y'all see that footage. I think it's Sonia Massey, and yeah, it's crazy work.
But you don't think people that were on a boat with somebody in proximity to somebody, and that person comes that day acting so suspicious, they should be questioned? That's who you are.
And it's crazy that he said everybody came home. The girl Katie came home. If he stayed back with Katie, where's Katie? Like, what's up with Katie? Katie didn't see nothing? I mean, I'm not blaming her. But damn, the 4 kids said he stayed back with Katie. So Katie should know where he went. Okay, so somebody knows something and nobody's saying nothing. Or maybe somebody is saying something and they're saying it to the prosecutors, and the prosecutors haven't released that information until they have enough evidence, which I think they're getting, but I think a lot of stuff is tainted. At this point, and then not only that, good luck finding 12 jurors who ain't seen this case. Good luck finding a jury, a non-biased jury. Good luck in the area that he's in, predominantly white. What you think them juries gonna be? Them jurors gonna be white. You think they about to hang their own? All right.
Hate you for what? What you are is what the people before you. You're Diamond and Silk. You're Candace Owens, AC Dash. You're that.
I don't think Candace Owens should have got that, but she deserved it, but she shouldn't have got that. She shouldn't be in this conversation.
And your career will age like avocados, because that's what they do. There'll be somebody else that replaces you. I've been around for 40 years doing what I do, and you still know my name. You know how I got to know yours? Somebody sent me a coon alert. They said, and you fit the bill. I don't know who you are, but I know what you are. I know what you do because I've seen people like you in my entire life. You can assail my career, but my career is longer than your life. You mentioned my name, and I have no idea who you are.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you how long D.L. Hughley's career is. I remember watching D.L. Hughley on Def Comedy Jam and on what was it, Comic View, and he used to rag on people bad. But the first thing, and you do not want to get in a ragging contest with D.L. Hughley. But one of the first times I seen D.L. Hughley off stage was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. One of the greatest episodes where Will Smith want to be a comedian, and then D.L. Hughley had to come and save him, and he said, "Let me talk your language, drip, 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 drip." Oh my God, that was so funny. And I'm talking about we watching this in real time, not the reruns. We watching this in real time when they come on once a week, looking at it. But yeah, shout out to D.L. Hughley. I just had to drop that gem on y'all, man. Tell y'all my age real quick.
But I do know this, that one day when all of this is done, and it'll be after the next election cycle, when people are wondering who you are, when you go the way of the Larry Elders, or the Sheriff Clarks, or the Candace Owens, or the Diamond and Silks, or the Stacey Dashes, or the Armstrong, like all of them, when you're there with them and you're wondering what happened, it's because you sold your soul for nothing.
Let me just say this, and I know people gonna clip this and get, and I don't care. I really feel this way. I'm getting sick of black people. Right? I like the black people like me and others that are conservative, that's smart, but the rest of y'all, I'm sick of y'all. It's hard to even want to be around black people, to be honest.
I have never.
Hey, we talked about this the other day when we were so live. I'm like, damn, I'm sick of black people, bro. Oh my gosh, that is a wild statement. That is a wild statement. Like, bro, like, you know what? I could be sick of ignorant folks, but I'm not sick of black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you need little bit of ignorance in your life. I'm not talking about like shooting up stuff. I mean, like, black people have the funnest times. I mean, have you ever been in a group of black people at one time? The jokes, okay? It's a fun, good time, okay? Until it ain't, okay? But one thing I want to tell you is, if you get a group of white guys and they have a black friend, a lot of times that black friend is the fun friend, the funny friend, the guy who, but that's just his blackness. That's just him being who he is, who we are. We're cool people, okay? We can move in different areas. Somebody said code switching earlier in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Code switching is a thing. Now, was Brandon Tatum doing that when he was talking to Nancy Grace versus when he was talking to Stephen A. Smith? Could be. It's a part of it. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think Brandon Tatum code switches for the right reasons. Just saying. Because he stay on code when it come down to defending white people. Brandon Tatum stay on code. That's a damn fact. But to say I'm tired of black people, man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I talked to a friend at work, and we talked about black fatigue, right? And he's a white guy, of course. You know what I'm saying? He's a white guy. And I asked him, I said, "Do you know what black fatigue means?" So I broke down what black fatigue actually means. It has nothing to do with what white people use it for. They just took the moniker. And he said, yes, we took the moniker and use it how we want to. And I said, that's fine. I get it. But he asked me about it, and I was just like, bro, is like this. You can't be fatigued of black people if you don't know enough black people. If you just get all your information from watching the internet of black people, then you're going to see an enormous mass of negative information about black people. Nothing intelligent gets shared about black people online 1,000 times. A 12-year-old kid can graduate high school and college, and it'll get shared 1,000 times. A 12-year-old kid can shoot another 12-year-old kid 1,000,000 times, and then you have all type of racists in the comments talking about this 12-year-old kid. It's not black fatigue. Y'all gotta be tired from watching black drama, but y'all don't look for the good blacks. Y'all don't look for the good things that happen in the black community. Y'all don't support black initiatives. Y'all don't support when we have things going on for the community. You know, how we can reach out to the community. How y'all don't share that stuff, but y'all share the bullshit. That's what I'll be saying. You know, it's not black fatigue. Y'all should be tired. Y'all should be tired of watching us, because that's all that happens. Like, I'm not saying y'all as in everybody. I'm saying everybody. I'm tired of it too. I don't want to open up Facebook and see two black women fighting in some apartments, pulling each other's wigs everywhere, titties out, all that, kids running around. I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? But it happens. I know it happens. But guess what? That gets shared 1,000 more times. You know, with the black kids graduating, black kids graduate all over the country every year. But you know what gets shared? Black kids twerking at graduation. Black kids not shaking the hands of the teacher when they graduate. But nobody's sharing all the hundreds of thousands, millions of black kids graduating every year. And y'all not sharing that. You get what I'm saying? So y'all tired of seeing it because y'all claim it's black fatigue, but you watching it. It's in your algorithm. If you're watching it, it's in your algorithm, nigga. It's you. You tired. Go to sleep. Turn your iPhone off.